and welcome to the Tees Valley International Film Festival podcast. I'm Lucy, and today we are at Arc Stockton, joined by a very special guest whose career has been nothing short of amazing. Some of you may recognise him from some of the UK's most popular TV shows including Ted Lasso, Alan Partridge, and most recently, Stew in Coronation Street. It's Bill Fellows.
It's fine.
I heard it was unseasonably cold.
That's a negative. His man wasn't on the job. And there was an accident. March back.
So, Bill, let's start at the very, very beginning, where this, dream became a reality to you. And as a young Teesside lad, where did this all start for you?
I didn't have a dream about being an actor. I never knew it was possible to become an actor. That was a world apart from me. What happened to me was the power of people. I've told the story before, I'll do it again. I was messing about in class, in a French class, and this was a secondary school in Middlesbrough called Hustler, which, what a name. I mean, it's named after Sir John Hustler, but I've worked with American actors who find it hilarious because Hustler's a porn magazine, it's a famous film with Paul Newman. But I was messing about in that, and I got caught. I've been reprimanded quite a few times. I was never tough, but I was a bit mischievous. So eventually said, that's it, you're out of the French class, you've got to join this other class called, and this is absolutely true, How to Be a Gentleman. So this is, Middlesbrough in the, early 70s. And we were in this class chatting away, and we did daft things. But we did all things, like when a lady comes in the room, we had to stand up, we had to open the door. I mean, genuinely, this is all happening in Middlesbrough in the 70s. But of course, I didn't realise he ran Middlesbrough Little Theatre Junior Club and Middlesbrough Little Theatre, and he just said to the other lad, "Are you interested in drama?" And to me, I said, I wouldn't mind doing something. So he goes, "Mickey, bring him along." And it was like threepence or sixpence that to pay, and that was my beginning into that world. I had no other reference points at this point. So we were at 13, 14.
So was that like because obviously back then it wasn't the obvious, career path. It wasn't. No. Not really many people were doing that. Was that? Did you find challenges in that, or?
What do you mean, like doing the amateur world, or when I became professional?
So both. So how did you find it?
Well, what I found was when I first turned up on Saturday morning, I felt, it's a long time ago, but I don't know, I felt comfortable straight away.
Yeah.
I felt really comfortable among these people in this world all of a sudden, and everyone was nice, and it also got me out of doing, I think it was my job, my chore, was to take the bloody family's washing to the laundrette in them days. So I got out of that, thank God. And so I felt very comfortable straight away. But again, no thoughts of being an actor. This would just be with a group of people. And that went on to Grangestown Boys Club, because as I got older, I went to that as well at Grangestown. Again, this man honestly deserves all the praise he can. He did get an MBE. So he was recognised, this guy, Bert Woolley, for just drama and helping kids. He was my English teacher at school, you see. And that's how it all started. But even then, I had no way of wanting to become a thing about being a professional actor. It never crossed my mind. And then what happened, I was unemployed. I was 18, I think I was 18. Going on 19, I was totally unemployed. And I went to a birthday party of Gordon Steele. Now, Gordon Steele is interesting because he became a playwright as well, in terms of good stuff. Yeah. So I went to his birthday party, and as it happens, another guy was there. And I'd stopped acting altogether at this point. I wasn't doing anything. And he just said to me, "Wait, what are you up to?" I said, "Oh, nothing." He said, I'm going to go to drama school. So I genuinely didn't even know what drama school was. I'm not like, this is, and everyone knows, but I didn't know then. And he said, "You weren't a bad little actor, why don't you apply for it if you're not doing anything?" I said, "Well, are you?" He said, "No, I'm applying for the drama teachers." Mm-hmm. So through him, David Evans, to be honest with you, Taffy Evans, he helped me get the form, and it was £5 in them days. I know exactly. So I paid £5, and I went down to drama school on the night bus to do the audition, thinking I've got no chance. But Bert Woolley helped me with the speech, and then by some miracle, I swear to God, I got in. And I think it was a combination of, if they knew I could get a grant, that helped a lot. And they just took a chance on us. And what I do feel, I remember very, very strongly, when I went through the door for this audition, I remember thinking to myself, whether I get this or not, I'm going to try again somewhere else. Oh, I just knew it was right.
It's just a passion.
Yeah.
It becomes a passion, doesn't it? And I think, obviously, we were speaking earlier about how, you know, you're in the right place at the right time. I know a lot of people, you know, in this day and age, it's almost, people are preparing for months and months of drama school auditions, and they get knocked back and then they go again the next year. Do you think that, you know, in the world that we're in now, do you think it's important to go to drama school? Do you think that drama schools...
I don't think it's important as in that you know, you can be an actor without it, but what is great about drama school, you're with people for 3 years, you're kind of looked after, you're part of that world, you're not sort of being pushed, you wouldn't get a chance. If you don't go to drama school, you're straight in the business end of it. So for 3 years you're with lots of different people, loads of beautiful, gorgeous girls and everything, you know, I'm done now. But, you know, that was the world we were in, and I coming from Middlesbrough, I think this is an amazing place to be. So I would recommend it purely because I think it gives you time to seep into it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't do it without drama school. There's lots of actors who didn't go to drama school. But I think for 3 years you have a great time, and I've still got friends from drama school, and it was that feeling of just living for 3 without too much pressure. I must get an agent, I must do this, I must do that. You have plenty of time when you leave drama school for this pressure. So to have the 3 years of no pressure, apart from playing around with parts and stuff, I'd recommend it purely for that. But definitely you don't have to go.
And I always feel at drama school as well, you're given roles off the bat, and you kind of handed roles on a play.
Yeah.
How did you find, you know, after your 3 years coming out of drama school, how did you find, you know, getting into the real world and and finding those roles and finding the agent?
So we're talking 1980 now, and everyone's terrified, of course. And in my day as well, you still had to be an equity member. Now these days you don't have to be. So you needed a job that was going to give you equity membership. And that was the hardest thing. Luckily for me, again, there's a lot of fate and fortune gets involved in your life. Farnham Redgrave, they happened to be doing a northern play, when I was leaving, called Kes. So they're after specifically northern actors. And Span spent 3 years been trying to teach me to speak, you know, do all that stuff to speak neutral. My first job to get my equity card was in Kes, which is, that was a tremendous bit of luck again to do that. So I got a good start. I left running. And also the other thing is, I managed to get an agent because no one came to see us at drama school. But a friend of mine had got this agent, like another friend. He said, "Oh, you want to write to him? You know, I've got a feeling you might be your cup of tea." And I wrote 2 letters. That's all I did. One to him and one to a woman. I wrote "Dear Sir" and "Dear Madam." He got the "Dear Madam" one, which made him laugh and wanted to see me purely because of that. You know, and I met him and he really liked me. He's dead now. John Marnie Associates. So again, helping hand from fame and fortune with a couple of friends and just pointing you in the right direction. Obviously, then it's up to me. And he was brilliant for me. I mean, as soon as I was up for tellies, I did Silas Martin with Ben Kingsley. I did an advert, which I think you can still see on YouTube, for Top Deck Shandy, but we were flown to Florida to do it. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, it was like unbelievable. But I was saying earlier to someone that having a good start really helps, because I got a fair bit of money from that advert, which got me a bit safer rather than struggling in London and what we're going to do and where we're going to live and all that. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, it's hard now, but it was hard then.
Yeah.
It was really hard, you know.
So when was the point that you know, was there a point where you thought, wow, this is no longer a dream and actually this is my reality and I can start making money from this?
Oh, I don't know. You have to know. You never stop having that issue. I mean, certainly as I've got older, yes, I feel like that now, but I don't think it ever dawns on you, because you're not acting. You need the money to survive. You're not acting for money.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are, forget it. You're acting because you want to be part of something and also play someone else, being someone else. It's great. I mean, it's an illusion anyway. But you know, I remember as a kid in my mum's house, sitting on the edge of the sofa, pretending I'm in the cavalry. Do you know what I mean? I watched High Chaparral or something, and that's what, for me, that was great. All of a sudden I could do all these wonderful things.
Yeah, and I think it's about just playing, isn't it? Like
It's
you
playing.
say, and when you're a child, you're playing
You're
around.
playing all the time, yeah.
And that's when you get the love and passion
And you don't get me wrong, you do have to work, you know, you do have to make money. You need money to survive. Yeah. But of course, them days in London or whatever, it was expensive, but not like it is now. It's got a proportion now. So we just managed to. I left, you know, people's sofas and all sorts of things really. So I mean, I never thought, truthfully, that I thought everyone told me. Even then, people tell you the stuff now. People told me it was tough then, that I'd make a living, a good living, and I have, which is great, and that's great. But it wasn't. I think it's like nowadays with stuff. I've got a feeling some people just want to be famous for the sake of it. We all wanted to act, and if we got money for it and made us famous, that's a complete bonus. It's nothing. That's all we wanted to do. You wanted to work at the National, you wanted to be RSC, and all these type of things. That's what you dreamt about, and some I managed to do, some I didn't. But yeah, money's important. I get that, and it's. I saw an interview recently. Channel 4 was saying the problem is for working class actors, especially, you might be doing all right, and then you have a really bad patch, and then you have to do something else, and then you're frightened to leave that something else, because you leave that little job for one day, and you're going to lose this other job. Well, if you're coming from a much middle class background and have got money, you will get help. You'll manage to survive the rough patches. How working class actors survive the rough patches, I think it's really hard. Yeah, really hard.
Did you obviously, you know, a lot of actors call the in-between job a muggle job. Did you ever have a muggle job, something else what you did other than acting?
No, for free, if I was reminded by someone, drama school, I'd ledger it, so no, I'm just going to do with acting. And luckily, because I got the good start with the money, I haven't done anything else. I mean, I've done variations, I've done corporate films, I've done lots of voiceovers, but everything's been associated with that. But I will have to point when I'm saying this, there's no, it's fine having another job, you know, it's not, don't be ashamed of it. People do have other jobs, great actors have had other jobs. Yeah. And that's something you've got to do, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of that differs. You know, you were so lucky and had that amazing start, and do you feel like that differs in this day and age? Do you feel like that's different today?
I think it's a bit more specialised, isn't it? You feel like these days you've got to be go to certain drama schools or have certain agents. So, but I think people still get a lucky break right at the beginning. I mean, what I would say is, there's no rules, man. There's no rules to this game at all. Nobody knows anything, and that's a quote. There's a book called "You Won't Have Lunch at This Table Again" by William Gorman. The first line of the book is "Nobody knows anything," and it's true. And I live by that now. You'd be with great agents and not get anywhere. Some people, like Sarah Lancashire, had a really small agent for years and years and years. Did great stuff. There's no set pattern. There's no rules, because otherwise none of us would be at work and no one would ever make a bad film.
What was your breaking point? That's your standout role.
Standout role. I don't know what. I don't know if there's such a thing that breaks you through that barrier. I mean, I think it was with Robson that led to Soldier, and then he had the hit songs. So that was the breakthrough there. I don't think I've ever quite had that breakthrough. I think I've just worked constantly and done some good stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's really important for actors to know, because, you know, as young actors are always thinking, I just need that. I need that break. I need and it's. You know, working constantly in small roles. I've had bigger roles as well. I did Dream Team. Sometimes you think you're going someplace and then you're not. Yeah. And again, I don't think there's any rules. But theatre-wise, I did one of my favourite jobs. I played a great role, Mickey, in Blood Brothers. I don't know if you've ever seen Blood Brothers. And it's great. And Mickey's one of the greatest musical parts. And that was in the West End. That was quite a big break for us. As in, people really, you got to know me more. But then Dream Team, but my first one, actually going back now, my first ever one was a series everyone's forgotten now called Flying Lady, which was a 13-hour, one hour, people like Frank Windsor, people you wouldn't know, but they were massive at the time. They did Z-Cars, they did Softly, all these actors that people have forgotten now. And we got eventually cancelled after 2 series because we weren't getting enough viewers, and our viewers were 12 million. You mentioned Corrie. Let's delve in a little bit more with your most recent role as Stu in Coronation Street. Yeah. How did that role change your life? Did it change your life, or was it?
I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, certainly my profile went up. I mean, it was kind of a combination because Alan Partridge came out and Ted Lasso, and then I did Corrie. So it was all of a sudden I was much more in the public eye, and I was only out yesterday, and someone stopped me and chatted about Alan Partridge. Someone chatted to me about Corrie, and then someone mentioned Ted Lasso. And I thought, I was trying to get the shopping done, by the way, but I felt quite privileged and lucky that I'm being part of all these things. But Corrie is a different level, but not as different as it used to be. I mean, Corrie gets 4 or 5 million viewers now. I was working with people like Chris Gascoigne when they were getting 22 million viewers. So the pressure wasn't as big as what they had. But what's the real pressure of Corrie is the number of lines you've got to learn. And when you're in a storyline, you're not always in a storyline, then it's a bit easy. But when you're in a big storyline, it's unbelievable. And all done at once, the locations there, and it really is really hard work. And I really enjoyed it. I like my character quite a lot. My early days working with Millie, and that was my favourite years. But no, I would say I've no regrets about joining, and I have no regrets about leaving. It seemed about perfect to me. The only thing I would say that maybe I would have might have done it 10 years earlier, rather than now. And it's great. It's hard work, but it's good, and it's an institution for my all the Elsie Tanners and Albert Tatlocks. My family used to watch it, and I've said this before. I've got 3 sisters, and finally being in Corrie.
You've made it, yeah.
Finally, and it's like they don't watch Ted Lasso, they don't watch Alan Partridge, they don't watch any of these things. So that was a nice feeling. I felt I'm glad. My mum was a big Corrie watcher. Sadly, she died a while back, and I did think, well, what a shame. I would like to have, I'd like to have seen it. That would have been quite a nice little thing. But,
well, she'll have been watching. She certainly would have
been
watching.
I hope so. Who knows? As it's turned out, since I've been, I've done 3 films and I've done TV, and I've got other things coming up, and people have asked me to do things, which is quite nice. But if they don't, I would have been all right with it.
Yeah.
I would have been. I'm in Smoggy Queens as well, and that comes. The story of the Smoggy Queens.
Yes,
I'll tell that. Yeah. That's an interesting thing. Again, about fate, fortune, and life, which why I think is crazy, right?
Crazy.
So there's a guy when he was younger, Phil Dunning. Ingleby Barwick, there he is, young lad. One of his favourite adverts is Frank's Factory Flooring, which people that don't know, I did that voice.
I only knew that from last year.
Yeah, right.
So you talk about people saying when you're in Corrie you've made it.
Yeah.
I remember being a young girl in the truck car driving to school. When I realised that was you, that was me thinking, Bill's really made it.
And that's right, a lot, honestly, it's an infamous, it's an incredible advert, it really. And so anyway, so basically what happened with that was, when Phil, who wrote the script, he did the pilot, Mark Benton was in it and stuff, and when he was looking at the pilot, he said, have you got another script? He said, I've got one more script, if it gets picked up by the BBC. And Sam Claypool looked at it, and they both told him, they said, this character Keith's Carpenter, said, oh yeah, it's based on my favourite advert. My favourite advert was this. And Mark and Sam go, but that's Bill Fellows. He goes, well, Bill Fellows who plays Stuart Corrie. He goes, yeah, so we've got to get it. And for me, that's wonderful. So who knows? He's 14 at this point.
Yeah.
And then years later, he wants, and you can't make that up, can you? You can't plan that. You can't legislate for it. Your agent can't do it. It's kind of wonderful, crazy chaos, which I personally like. And that's why everyone should always have a little bit of hope. Yes, you get the best agent you can. Yes, I understand all that world. But even with all the allegedly great things you went around, not necessarily doesn't mean that you're going to do great. You can have nothing or come from strange things like that, like an advert. I mean, I found, so I'm obviously grateful that I did the advert in the first place. But I love being in Smoggy Queens for that. And
it was great. It was a great success.
Yeah, it was a big success and stuff. So again, that's a story where you can't legislate. There's no secret code. I remember Martin Clunes saying to me, I worked with him on a radio play, and I remember saying to me, Bill, if there was a secret formula or code I could give you, because I like you, to be a star or to do well, I would give it to you. But there isn't. There is no formula, nothing. Who knows? Get yourself out. All you do know is someone once said, you can't be a star sitting in your front room.
Obviously, it's really important, for actors to be versatile, and you do a lot of voiceover work, Bill. So is that? Do you think it's important for actors to keep it, quite niche, whether they do screen, whether they do television, whether they do voiceover, or do you think it's important to be quite versatile?
I think you've got to see what comes your way. I mean, yeah, be versatile. I mean, you know, the trouble with acting sometimes, you're not allowed to be versatile.
Yeah.
Because there's typecasting, you know, and I understand that. If I was casting something in a film and I wanted the film to be good, I would probably play safe and go to the actor. I know that I can deliver that.
Yeah.
So the chances of being versatile, unless you're someone like Daniel Day-Lewis or a big star, you don't get much chance to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, certainly when I first left, you know, I had the chance to play Liverpool and do all these things. You don't get that chance much anymore now because there's so many Liverpool actors.
Yeah.
And there's so many North East actors or whatever. I mean, there's an interesting thing about this. I did Vera a long time ago, and I worked with another actor called Rob Jarvis in it. And Rob's a good friend of mine, he's from Liverpool. And I remember when I was working at live theatre or whatever, people said, "Oh, but you know, he's not from Newcastle, he's not from whatever." And I said, "Okay, be careful though, because if he can't play someone from Newcastle, you can never play anyone from Cockney. You better not play anyone from Birmingham or Liverpool." And that is the problem we're getting a little bit at the moment. I think we're becoming very protectionist about everything.
Yeah.
Because there's, you know, Liverpool actors are more saying, "Oh, how come he did Blood Brothers?
Yeah.
He's not from,"
Yeah.
you know, even though I pretended I was
Yeah.
for a long time. You know, I was from Old Swan. But that the art of acting sometimes is beginning to lose a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's the point of being an actor, isn't it? That we can do different voices and different people. And that's beginning to drift away, which I think is a shame. So careful what we wish for. So I'm all right. And I mean, you know, I would say Smoggy Queens. Sam saw many Teesside actors as possible, which I think is great. Everyone's got the opportunity. But if they don't cast someone from Teesside because they couldn't find the right person, then so be it. As long as that person could do the accent, I don't think it matters. Because if I do think it matters, all I can ever play is Teesside people. And let's be honest, there's not many writers writing for Teesside people at the moment. So, sadly.
Very sadly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that's what will come, I think.
Yeah.
You know, just on is she out there, and more people like Ishi and Michael Smith, who's written, and Gordon and that. You need more people from the area to write, because that's where the real power lies.
Absolutely.
Is that they're writing about where they're from, and production companies, if they stand their ground, will come and film here. I mean, Phil Dunning, I'm sure, if he'd come from Manchester or Newcastle or Sunderland, it would have been set there.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, he came from Teesside.
Yeah.
And we could set it here. And I think he insisted on it anyway. I think maybe there was a little push, maybe set somewhere else, but he said no.
Yeah.
I think.
Keep it in his home ground.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. Up the borough.
Up the borough. Absolutely. And it's important. So my admiration, if someone said to me, where would you really admire? I lots of actors I really like, but I really admire writers.
Yeah.
Because without writers, in my opinion, humble opinion, I'm going to sit there with not knowing quite know what to do. If you put a blank page in front of me, I go, okay, I'll do a bit of improv maybe. Yeah. But without writers, we're nobody, and that's why we need more and more writers. They encourage more and more writers from this area to write about this area, like they do in Manchester, like they do in Newcastle. We're not asking for anything new, but writers need to be really encouraged.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's been amazing to speak to you, and thank you again for being such a wonderful friend to the festival.
Oh, I love the festival. I love the festival. I'm a big supporter of Michael who does it, and I think let's not underestimate what Michael is doing. It's fantastic because no one did it before him. No one. And now they started something which is really interesting. And and very quickly, and we're going to finish. Last year when I was on stage, and I saw people getting awards, and I'm not a big one on awards personally. But when I saw their faces picking up an award and giving them a hope, that for me that was immensely powerful. Yeah. So long may it continue.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.